Was poppin', was poppin', was poppin'. Welcome, Nicky and Moose. I'm Nicky. That's Moose. What's up, Moose?
What up, y'all?
And on this episode, we're going to be talking about Facebook finally giving some new features to Reels. Is there going to be a competitor for Twitter? Let's find out. Creator of the week, we got a new one. And yes, we heard you. AI, how does it apply to our brand and business? We've been kind of toying around with it. We're finally doing a whole segment on it for the blueprint. And then, is it wise to hire your friends into your business? That's going to be part of the this or that. It's going to be an interesting conversation. Moose, how do we feel about this episode?
I like this one, man. Big tech talk, right? Big tech talk. Got a lot of tech happening that we're going to be talking about. So I'm excited for that. You know, I've been geeking up about the space for a little bit now. But that this or that, my goodness. Y'all stay tuned for that. That's going to be one for the books, I think.
Let's get into this intro.
Two kids from Queens, cut from a different cloth. Now joining forces, helping you to elevate your personal brand. Yeah, I'm talking about Nicky and Moose, bringing you a never-before-seen perspective into the mindset, the mentality, the behaviors, the driving force, but more importantly, the stories behind the people and brands that you know and love the most.
And of course, this episode is powered by Ecamm Live, the #1 all-in-one live streaming platform that allows you to stream not only on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, all the platforms, but allows you to also do pre-recorded. And so you could do your courses, you could do your podcast like Nicky and Moose. It does video isolation, audio isolation, text, transitions, you name it, they got it. And we're giving a 14-day trial on us for free. Okay, if you just go to www.nickyandmoose.com/ecamm, that's ECAMM, and redeem that 14-day trial.
Hello.
Moose, how we feeling?
Man, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Another good day. Switching up with the whole routine. We did a family day today, so it was a lot of fun. And shout out to you for being understanding and, hey, no, don't worry about it. Like, I got this. Go take care of the family, and it'll be taken care of. So I am grateful for you, and I want to say that publicly. So thank you for that.
Hey, listen, It's all about family, okay? It's the moments. We don't know when are we going to get these same exact moments again. So I'm like, always be present. We Gucci. As far as me, I have one of the most busiest days. Who else has it seems that on your let's say day off, all of a sudden at a certain time,
Ring.
you have 9 different tasks. Like your whole day was chilling, researching, doing all these things. And then boom, you got to do a presentation. You got to do table of contents. You got to do record a podcast, you got to do, there's all these different tasks that just came out of nowhere. And I'm like, why? Was it, praise God, I could do time management very well nowadays. And I don't necessarily feel overwhelmed. It's like going to be after this, then I got this, then I got this, then I got this. And I'll sleep when it's done. And then I have a meeting in the morning, first thing. And people who don't know.
Oh yeah,
I do not talk on the phone before 12. I may do 11. You feel me? I may do 11. However, on this particular week, there are 3 meetings I have to do that starts at 9. And I'm like, why do people do this? Why? Now, granted, I live a different life. I know normal things start at 9, and I'm saying my life. My life does not start at 9 to talk to people, to talk to God, to talk to myself, to do all the things I need. But I have this rule, and I've been very good with this rule. And now this week this is going to be a test. You want to talk about routine test? This is going to be attest
Yeah.
of like, I was just talking about I need a vacation routine, and now here I am being tested about my home routine. Don't mess up with my home routine. Don't do that.
Yeah. Hey, that's not one time. That's 3 times in 1 week. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Let us know how that plays out next week. Let me ask you, mental health, 1 to 10. Where you at? Where you at? Would you say mental health wise? Just
Let's see. I will give a 7.5. Give a 7.5. Yeah, I'm good.
Is there something
for
that could
improving.
make it a 10? Yeah. Is there something that could?
Life standing still. Yep, that would make it a 10. Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah,
helps. That
but
helps.
since it can't,
Yeah.
you know, I try not to ever go under like 6. You feel me? Like I feel like under 6 is you hold on.
Warning.
Right. I had my my therapy session. We're good with that. I'm working on my communication. I mean, both in a professional way and a personal way, trying to focus on that. It was funny for those, I don't know if I said it here. So I always had this dream of like this big globy thing, right? I don't know how to, I say it wrong. I say sphere, but they say it's like spear, like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. But
Got him. Isaiah, you gotta do something with that, Isaiah. We don't get too many chances with her, Isaiah. You have to. We gotta do something with that, please. Yes. I love it.
Okay, so yeah, so it's this big circle globy thing, right? That is like surrounded by lightning, right? I have this like image in my head that's like by a beach, and it signifies like what is next for me, and I can't get in that particular one. So my therapist was like, "Yo, whatever happened to that that dream, that image that you always had, thinking that you're so close, but you can't get close, like you can't get closer, you can't see what it is." I said, I think the way the world works right now is that I'm getting closer to it. Like there's no like obstacles, because I'm continuously getting small wins. And soon it'll be revealed what my next level is. But for right now, it's the small momentum that like gets me closer or makes it more accessible. So, go to therapy. It unlocks a lot of stuff about just most random things in your head. Yes, I have random things. I'm a creator. So yes, that whole thing does happen in my head. I mean, so yeah.
Solid.
Yep.
Solid. Hey.
But you already know the time it is. Let's get into this episode. And on the What's Poppin' section, first and foremost, this segment is sponsored by Deeper Than the Brand, the #1 content branding community that shows you how to confidently and authentically build a brand, grow a social media presence, and build digital wealth. Go to deeperthanthebrand.com for more information. Now, okay, Facebook finally came out with some new features. This for Reels, okay? Now, with the rise of vertical videos, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, it seems as if Facebook has been kind of slowly getting there. So here are some of the new features that we can expect, right? 90-second Reels, which for me, I'm confused why it did take so long, because Instagram got 90 seconds and it just didn't transfer over. So that's a little bit weird to me. But we got 90-second Reels. Memories can now turn into Reels. So for those people who are on Facebook, we always see like, this happened 3 years ago. This happened 10 years ago, right? You can turn those things now into Reels. It also has grooves, which is where they sync up your video automatically, videos and pictures automatically to some music that you like, right? And then they now have templates. So for those people who are not necessarily super creative and can't think of what am I supposed to do for for a reel today, you can now pick a template and just add in your video and pictures, and it automatically comes up. Now, of course, this is nothing new to those who have been doing vertical videos on, let's say, Instagram and TikTok, right? Meta is also known for taking ideas. This is nothing new. However, Reels on Instagram and Facebook has actually doubled in the past 2 years, I believe, right? And this is something that is interesting because on Facebook, it's actually easier to share your reel compared to, let's say, Instagram. And TikTok just recently started to do a repost situation. So from a shareability and to get your brand awareness out, Facebook does have a little bit of a one-up on all the other platforms. But still, it is running a little bit behind. And I would love to see, what's going to happen with Facebook. Are they going to finally catch up to maybe even doing some of the special effects that like TikTok does? Is it going to do the 10 minutes or however longer for a reel? What is going to happen? So shout out to Meta. Shout out to Facebook. I appreciate y'all because y'all rock with Nicky and Moose. We have our own page over there. Go check that. But these are just some of the new features that, Facebook has. What you think, Moose?
Wow. That's interesting. Facebook is staying strong, man, considering all that's happened after them. They're doing their very best to stay alive. So that's what's up. Shout out to Mark and all he's got going on over there. We're excited to see what comes up for, we can't even call it Facebook, for Meta, the company. So yeah, we shall see. But man, switching gears into the business side, very interesting news. So Jack Dorsey strikes back and hits the App Store with a Twitter competitor called Bluesky. Very interesting. So the company was first founded in 2019, but stayed pretty much low up until late October of 2022. So after the sell to Elon Musk, he comes back with a decentralized social media app. Very interesting because it actually mirrors Twitter almost to the T. A lot of people who've gotten some inside access to the beta version of the platform have said that the aesthetics and the interface are almost exactly the same, from everything from timeline to even the way the profile looks. So it's very similar. Now, the interesting thing here is that it's an invite-only app right now. So immediately it brought my mind to Clubhouse. As you all know, dating back to the pandemic, you couldn't get on Clubhouse, and it was the hottest thing out unless someone invited you. So no one, surprisingly, has attempted to do the same thing similar to that Clubhouse rollout. But I see that Bluesky, which is the name of Jack Dorsey's new app, is now attempting to do the same thing. So will he make a run for Twitter and possibly take out Elon? It's going to be interesting. We shall see. So I guess, folks, as you're listening to this, man, let us know. Are you going to back Jack Dorsey and Bluesky on this one? Or are you faithful to Elon Musk and Twitter and all of the things that he's doing over there? So yeah, let us know as you're listening to this, whether maybe in the comments or the DMs, or heck, even on Twitter, ironically, maybe you might say, hey, I'm on Twitter saying I'm about to go to Bluesky. So that'll be interesting enough. But we shall see in the coming months, man, what happens with that. Whenever an app or a platform hits the App Store and they release beta, that means the real version is coming pretty soon. So that should be coming here in the next couple of months, I imagine.
Fire. I'm about to download that and see how I can get an invite. Anybody over at Bluesky, if you want to give both of us some access, we would highly appreciate that. But let's get into the creator of the week, and this is a personal one because I personally love this influencer. Okay, So Jessica Rose, who I was introduced on TikTok and then also followed her on Instagram, is, I mean, an amazing female, also a single mother who is just truly, truly authentic. When I tell you, like, her content is not only something that will entertain you because she totally embodies her chubbiness, right? But she also takes you through the journey of being a single mom, making fun of the relationship of her and her baby daddy and the ups and downs of being a mom to now being a full-time content creator, right? With about 400K plus on TikTok, around 123K on Instagram. She has been making a lot of moves, and this is just an example of some of the content.
My biggest fear is that something bad is going to happen to my child. It's really just something bad happening to my kid in any capacity, whether that be death or even just getting her feelings hurt on the playground. My biggest fear is my child experiencing pains in life that are actually inevitable. So my fear is the reality that I'm living in.
So yeah, shout out to Jessica. I love her. Go follow her. She's amazing, especially all my mothers out there. And plus, it's Women's Month. So definitely go support. Shout out to you for being the creator of the week. Did you know about that? This is always going to be a semi follow up to. Did you know about Jessica Rose?
Man, I did not.
That's okay.
Did not.
We're teaching Moose about the new influencers out there. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
If we have a creator of the week that he already follows, besides the ones that he mentions, I'm doing something wrong, people. I'm doing something wrong.
Facts. That should be the standard, that I don't know about them. that makes sense. Yeah.
So let's talk about AI. Okay. One of the most trending topics out right now. I don't know anybody who is not talking about AI. AI this, AI that. We've heard ChatGPT. We've talked about ChatGPT. But let's really talk about how it is supposed to really be implemented in our brands and businesses. And so let's just start with this strong statement.
ChatGPT is going to revolutionize the world, and it's going to change things for not only creatives, but it's going to change education. It's going to change the way that we're able to interact with each other, and whoever kind of gets a stronghold on it is going to have a tremendous advantage in the space.
This era is going to produce people that make 50 and 80 and $100 million in like 4 or 5 years, and then there's going to be a class of people who are just like broke and destitute. What side of the coin are you going to be on? Are you going to get rich and wealthy in this era from this information, or are you going to sit on the sidelines and complain?
And shout out to EYL, Market Monday. They're on a whole world tour, but they've also been going heavy on AI along with 19 Keys. But it's really about understanding the foundation and not really being afraid of it. So with all these different tools, and we could start with ChatGPT, but with all these different tools, some people are really scared of, oh my God, I'm going to be replaced. I'm going to be replaced by machine learning. I'm going to be replaced by robots. I don't know what to do, how to go about it. But I think that's kind of the wrong mindset. I think what we have to think about is, how do we implement it into our brand? How do we implement it in our business? What can we do to really learn about, okay, right now, the copy, on our websites, on our emails. You know, that's something that people are talking about. AI art, organization, sales. Like, what are some of the different things that we have in our business already, in our brand, some of our needs, and what AI is going to allow us to do? Because what it's going to help us is be more efficient. What's going to help us is to save more time. What's going to help us is actually to save money instead of maybe going to Fiverr or finding this person and that person. It's actually going to help us save all those things I just said. Now, we brought up Alex Hormozy, and he made a really good video about AI, but even him is thinking about, yo, I gotta bring it into my stuff.
And I mean, I've been very transparent. Like I'm very worried about what will happen for the vast majority of people. You know, I'm a competitive person. We absolutely have embraced AI within our company, and it's because we don't have a choice. But if you can get your logo designed in 5 seconds and get 10 different versions, who gets fired?
Yeah, and get
the designer.
alternate versions, alternate colors in a millisecond.
Yeah. In the short term, and I said this in the video, the short term, the people who are going to do quality assurance on the stuff that ChatGPT spits out will be the opportunity. They'll actually have an outsized opportunity.
Now, you know, I got to lean on Moose about the business side when it comes to AI. I got the brand and content side, but Moose, how are you feeling about this new AI season that we're in?
Yeah, so I'm really a big fan of, and I've allowed experience to teach me that history will repeat itself. Mm-hmm. And so while I think AI has tremendous momentum right now, and it really is incredible what the technology has the ability to do, I do still believe it's very early. What I don't want a lot of people to do is make the same mistake that everyone rushed into when it came to the metaverse, digital art, cryptocurrency. Remember, that was just maybe 12 to 24 months ago where everyone was jumping ship, and there was just almost a large desperation and some cultural cool that came with you understanding that world and had to go all in on it. Now, here's what I'm saying to do differently this time is to, number one, expose yourself. It is a very real thing, and there is a lot of positive outcomes to come for it or from it, but I do believe it's too soon to go all in on this, right? So with your business, yes, understand that there's going to be opportunities for you to, number one, increase your productivity. It's not a matter of saying, hey, I want to replace my people. I want machines to take over the work that people would be doing. Because I think, for one, you're actually ruining human society or just the world that we live in by trying to replace people. I don't think that's a goal. Any smart business person understands that at the end of the day, you need people. It's a part of really like our mission and everything that we do. So it's not about that, but how can you make your people better by encouraging them to upskill and advance their abilities by using this technology to not have to do the mundane, boring, all monotonous, tedious work that just takes time from them and push their skills and their efforts towards things that are more meaningful. So as a business owner, that's how I would look at this. It's simply put, expose yourself, get acclimated, get adjusted. Too soon to go all in and just rush in for the kill, especially if you don't have interest in entering the AI space. And by entering the AI space, I mean saying developing a technology that's utilizing AI where you're looking to bring some form of product or service to the marketplace that's saying, hey, we utilize AI to do X, Y, Z. Now, in that case, obviously, that's a different game. You're looking for big funding. You're looking for backing. You're looking to learn as much as you possibly can, as quickly as you possibly can, so that you can come out the woodworks and really make something happen in the space. So that's really my balanced perspective, because as I date back to the metaverse, and some of you can even go back to our episodes of that time. I think I was someone who was big on like, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go. And now that I'm realizing nothing works that fast. Of course, marketing and the world around us, the digital world, is going to make us feel as though you're always left, like you're always behind, or you're going to miss the train. You're never going to catch up. And I don't think nothing moves that fast. So yes, it's real. It's powerful. I see a lot of benefits from it. Expose yourself, but be mindful. We talked about diversifying our portfolio and just being, careful in some spaces. I think AI, as to where it is right now, that's the approach.
So I may sound a little bit opposite of him. A little bit.
Yes, please.
Not too, a little bit opposite. So I posted actually a few days ago where it says, AI will not replace you. A person who's using AI will replace you, right? And so I look at AI as like factory machines. Where before, you had so many, manual labor people doing this, cutting this, like screwing the lids, all this stuff, to where they got cut out. And it's the person who knows how to run the machine that stayed, and the rest
That's good.
got cut off. So I think it's really being ahead of understanding what, especially for, let's say, my service providers, my creators, what are these tools that are happening that can actually elevate our skill level? So one of the biggest examples as far as how does that work is like AI art. One of the things, and we'll go into some of the AI tools later, but I'll say one now, Midjourney. Midjourney, for those people who have heard or saw all this AI art looking so beautiful, amazing landscape, HD, that whole nine, it's done 9 out of 10 times from Midjourney. The regular user can write something like, give me a blue hat on the ground in the streets of New York, right? And it'll come up. But for those people who are actually artists, who actually live this game, they know certain terms that the regular person doesn't. And so you may type that in, because this is all a prompt situation, where other artists would be like, hat shifted to the side with studio lighting, with then giving a DSLR lens. Like, they get more descriptive, 4K rendering. They get way more descriptive than necessarily the regular person. And so, which makes them more valuable. It saves them time, and it still makes them stand out. When we talk about, let's say, salespeople with their follow-ups, and they have to email, there is AI that can help. Now, there is, I'll say, when it comes to some of this AI, it's not so authentic. You could feel the AI's voice. You could feel that it's like, it's doesn't have soul in it. Doesn't have a certain kind of swag. You can feel that. So the person who can identify that and add certain keywords that makes them sound human, then I can dish out 50 to 100 extra emails, because now I got the format, the template from AI, and I know what to add to it to make it seem as if it is from our company. That's something to think about, right? We have a clip from, what's his name, Moose?
Marquez Brownsley.
There you go. And I suck with names, so this is why I leave it to Moose. That actually is talking about what Microsoft could do with AI.
So not a lot of people know this, but back in 2019, Microsoft invested $1 billion in OpenAI. This is the company that made DALL-E, the AI art generator, and ChatGPT, the AI chatbot we've been seeing everywhere. Now there's rumors that they're going to invest an additional $10 billion for a 49% stake, which, sounds like boring corporate and all that stuff. But hear me out, AI across all of Microsoft's stuff. It makes so much sense. So Microsoft Word could have built-in text generation to help you write things and brainstorm essays. Microsoft Outlook could help you write emails and find excuses to get out of meetings. Microsoft PowerPoint could, of course, have DALL-E AI generated clip art.
And so you got to think of it like, how are we integrating it with what we do? That's it. How are we integrating with what we do? Is there, we talked about it last episode, where there is a software that normally helps you with YouTube ranking that added AI to it to now have an AI YouTube coach. So they don't necessarily have to do the consulting anymore. We look at our business and our brands and we can go, okay, what can I add that will be a really dope feature, or something that, you know what, I could be the middleman and I could create a whole new business model. We saw that with Lenza. For everybody who saw that those avatars, Moose had one, I had one, Isaiah had one. Like, anybody who got this app and uploaded 10 to 20 pics, got all these different avatars, we had to pay, I don't remember amount, but we had to pay something where all they were was a middleman, because they used the free software. I believe it's called Stable Diffusion. They used that one and became a middleman to make it super easy for people who didn't know about that. Because we got to remember, not everybody understands who ChatGPT is. Not everybody understands what Midjourney is. Not everybody understands 11 Labs and all these different AIs that can help us copy AI. Like I said, we'll get into these tools in a little bit, but not everybody understands this. And if we was to create something that within our niche, within our market, something that either people are looking for, but we're using some of these free sources and putting them in one location and totally niche it down to what we do, that's very valuable for our market. That's very valuable for our audience. So I would semi agree with Moose as far as, don't go all the way in. Like, now I have an AI business, but I will say, now I have an AI department. Like, how we should all be thinking about, how can I integrate AI in my brand and my business? Whether from a internal standpoint of, what are these things that can help me be more efficient from my workflow, or from a new business model of maybe looking at my products and services and how can it add to it to make the experience even better, or something that is like something that will take it to whole new heights that they didn't even know they needed to be. So I'm looking at AI in that way when it comes to, brands and businesses, to where I'm taking this a little bit more serious, because for some reason, I find this a little bit different than the metaverse. I do believe the metaverse is still there, is still heavy. Shout out to Deeper Than the Brand and MetaSuite. We're still in there, right? So I still believe that's there. I still believe in blockchain and the technology that it has. But I do believe how these different softwares are coming out, and with in mind of the business owner, with in mind of the creator, with in mind of the single parent. Like, I think that's something to really take advantage of from both a user as well as a producer.
Let me ask you this. Where would you suggest that maybe someone who watched iRobot, remember that movie with Will Smith?
Yes.
It was like the robot just came and defeated everybody after the world was running so peacefully. But where would you suggest someone who's skeptical about AI and things of that nature, where do you suggest they start? Just to say, all right, let me just take the first step in maybe educating myself so that I can at least begin to integrate this into somewhere into my workflow and what I'm doing. How would you suggest somebody, start?
I think you could start with ChatGPT. Anything that's free, because you don't want to pay for something and then you really don't believe in it and you're just finding reasons and I wasted my money, right?
Yeah.
But I do believe in, starting ChatGPT and just talk to it like a chatbot. You don't have to use it as per se copy and paste and do all the things you knew, but see the different capabilities, see how you like the output. Continue to talk to it, because as you continue to talk to it, the better the output is going to be. But you'll be surprised the amount of things that you can do in ChatGPT as a brand and as a business owner, right? We look at it from, hey, help me create a job description for this particular role. Hey, can you help me come up with 10 content ideas for, my Instagram channel? Can you help me come up with a strategy for, working out? Like, there's just so many different things you can ask it and not feel obligated to use it, right? Not feel obligated at all. But and there are a lot of people who are skeptical. I was like, yo,
Right.
because this is going to ruin. I believe, and shout out to EYL. This is where I heard the information, where it's banned. ChatGPT is banned in New York for schools,
For the education system.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So because people can write out whole essays and whole books and be like, got it. So kids who were doing like D's and C's and all of a sudden getting A's because got ChatGPT. Where I think, in my opinion, even looking from the educational side, understanding that there still should be a way that students can use ChatGPT for more of a brainstorming rather than a copy and paste, which that's going to take a bit of, and probably a little bit more work from the teacher side to figure out, let me take this essay, put into plagiarism, done, that didn't work, you suck, go sit down.
Right.
But I do believe this is another tool for students and for teachers. I do believe this is another tool for any market that can help them through meetings, to help them through just work structure from a creative standpoint. Of course, I believe from a social media presence, I think it's a game changer. From a content standpoint, I believe it's a game changer. But I think of it when we're building our brands. What are the tools that we need to help grow it? From everything from a copywriter, everything from a graphic designer, everything from a follow-up system with emails and sales. Now I heard that AI can make calls for you, right? So the possibilities are endless. And if you was to put down the being so skeptical for it and just try one thing, you'll be very surprised how much time you save.
Yeah. No, that's a fact. It's crazy that you bring up the whole, like, New York City public school systems. doing away with ChatGPT or just going hardcore, not hardcore, maybe that's a bit extreme, but just to say banned in the system, I totally disagree with that, right? Because I always find, especially with a younger generation, when you ban something away from them, you make it that more almost exciting to get a hold of, right? Now, even all of that aside, I think you're spot on with what you said. If we take it away from them because we maybe want to protect their, I don't know, the essays, like you said, for example, we want to make sure they don't plagiarize on essays. Well, you can protect against plagiarism, but you can delay their development for the future because you're not allowing them to interact with the technology. So I'm not in education, and I bet if I had children who, were in that maybe age level and I'm thinking about these things at the same time, maybe my opinion will be different. I, of course, want to be mindful of that. But I will say, as an outsider looking in, I would like some form of co-creative space where we can use it in a specific way instead of Xing it out completely. But I think you said some really cool things too there, Nix. And I think from a business standpoint, my mind immediately goes to two things that business owners should be thinking about for improvement utilizing AI. Of course, the first one is time, how to get a better return on your time, and then how to get rid of your least returning task, right? Whatever task you do, almost that bottom of the barrel, that gives you the lowest rate of return. And if you think about it, you mentioned something as simple as having an AI tool on a meeting with you to simply take notes, right? Just a note taker. So instead of having someone there who's taking the meeting notes and doing this and sending it out, well, you can free up that person's time. And again, that's what I'm saying, with that mentality of, hey, I don't want to get rid of people. I just want to make people more productive. And I think if we think about those two things, how can I save people time and take away the tasks that give us the least rate of return and free up those people to do better things or help them to really focus on the things that they're more passionate about. I think that's how you can stand out as a business owner if you're not in the business of AI, right? How you can utilize it to leverage it in your favor and really make something happen with it.
So let's talk about some AI tools, because we can't talk about AI and not give some people some things to look at, right? So y'all are already familiar with ChatGPT. We don't have to talk about that. You already know about it if you follow us. But from a video side, I'm going to talk as for those people who need video editors that may have videos that are 2 minutes, 3 minutes, an hour long. And how do we cut them up to vertical videos that, can be used on social media, from Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, that whole nine. And I will say, go look at GetMunch. GetMunch is a AI video editor that literally trims up based off the keywords. So it picks out things that people are searching for, and they are cutting up exactly those parts of your videos. And what's really cool about this as well is that it shows a certain feature of the keywords that you say and how competitive that clip is on, let's say, YouTube, on TikTok, right? So not only does it cut it up, but it shows you which ones would be really good to post, as well it comes up with captions for it as well. So it does pretty much everything for you right then and there. So that's called GetMunch. Now, as we said, we do have ChatGPT, but for those people who don't know how to type exactly what they want, they just want the templates, I would say Copy AI. Copy AI can do everything from website copy, from social media captions, from video scripts, from sales funnels, everything that you may need for your digital marketing side of life, or even some of your business life. Copy AI has a template for it, so it makes it very easy. And they do have also a free trial just to try it out. So that's another one. Moose talked about, if we're doing a meeting, having somebody to take notes. And I would say use otter.ai. Otter is like the animal. Okay. What this does is it literally connects to your Zoom, and it will take notes for you, minutes, as other people will say, right? Summarize it for you. It also can take any audio or video and transcribe it for you in matter of minutes. So this is a game changer for those people who like use virtual assistants to write their notes or anything, or having somebody dedicated to write minutes. This could do it all for you with no problem. So that's otter.ai. Midjourney I brought up. You don't need a graphic designer. You just need Discord. And join Midjourney and type whatever you want. It's a whole vibe. And then my last one, or two last ones, is Mixo.io, Mixo.io, and Durable. This is something that could create a landing page, like a website for you in a matter of seconds. You literally give up your startup idea, your business, and it comes up with testimonials, it comes up with images, it comes up with copy in a matter of seconds. So these are just some of the AI tools that I personally use, that Moose has used, that would definitely help out from a branding and a business side. And this is all going to be in our show notes. This is all going to be in our descriptions for you to check it out. But Moose, what you think about all that?
Man, that website builder, that is so clutch, you know. And I think a lot of people are probably like me, especially those who have shied away from anything digital. It's because you know that getting a creative template is difficult for you. Like, but once you have something there, just some guard, something simple to work off of. It's like, oh, I know exactly how to do this, or I know exactly what I want. So I think that one is so incredible. That's honestly what I've done a lot with ChatGPT, especially when I was really mixing around with it in the beginning for our live show emails. I just wanted something to start with. And typically I would end up mixing maybe 80 to 90% of what was suggested. But just having the concept there, it's almost someone giving you that template, as you mentioned, and then working off of it. So I think that's two things that are super helpful in this case that people should think about. But Mixo and Durable, fire.
No, I gotta give them some options. You know what I mean?
Fire.
Gotta give them some options. So let us know what you think about AI going into your brand and business. Will you start integrating it? Will you not? Are you scared of it? Just let us know. Hit us up in the comments, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We read it all. Okay? Now, it's time. All right? It's time. All right? Let's talk about this or that. Okay? But first, this segment is sponsored by flightassessment.com. Discover your personal superpowers and learn how to use your superpowers to become a master communicator, strengthen all your relationships, and develop your self-awareness you need to fulfill your highest potential. Flightassessment.com. It's fire. They got a whole new setup. I need you to go check that out. Plus, I may know somebody who kind of like is ahead of it, and I mean, like I don't know. He's really dope. But to hire your friend, or not to hire your friend, to start a business and bring your friends along, not to do that. I saw this clip before we get into this convo. I saw this clip from Lil Yachty that I've been holding on for a while, good minute. And I feel like it's needed right now, but this is what his experience of hiring his friends, and I think it goes well with the two of us, and I'll break down why.
What I'm saying is I grew up kind of like alone. Right. Like I had a sister, but she was a baby, so we didn't talk. Yeah. So it was kind of like a single child. So when selling team became like my brothers and sisters, I kind of felt the need to kind of take care of them. Right. You know, but It got to the point where I was spending so much money, like almost $1 million trying to like create this company out of my own money.
Right.
And they didn't want it for themselves.
So I say that this is something we could probably relate to just because both of us are only child. And so well, at least for me, and Moose can speak for himself, at least for me, when you're friends with me, like tight with me, you're pretty much family. And I'm like treating you as like, okay, don't worry. I'm the protector mode. I'm the lookout person. And I do really, before I give my opinion, because I want Moose's opinion first, I do really feel this clip 100%. Okay? But before I go in on my stuff, Moose, what is your thoughts? Friends in business? Does it make sense? Is it safe? What are we doing?
So we can be friendly in business. Friends in business can be difficult. Let me tell you why. I'll give you a quick story.
Help me.
Oh man, let me tell you why. Right, and I have two experiences that I think are pretty interesting, and this is why I take this approach. So the first official company that I started, EIN number, bank account, the whole nine, website, everything, was of course my company in the hospitality business, or I would say this wrong, the company in the hospitality industry. And when I first started, I bootstrapped the company, and I can only really work or hire my friends, right? And it was very interesting, and I actually needed to go through that learning experience because working with them and trying to manage my friends was probably the best lesson that I could have ever gotten in business. Because this is not a case of, hey, let's partner on a business together. This is my business, my company, and I want to give some of you all an opportunity to make some extra cash. But at the end of the day, I am the lead in this case. And it can feel very uncomfortable for some people, especially when in a friendship, we've always been equals. And now we're going through a transitional phase in our lives where someone is taking a step bigger and or faster than the others. And it feels like uncomfortable to have your friend give you instruction on what to do on the job, in the work, right? Like in the business. And it's not coming out of disrespect to say, hey, like, and again, till this day, I don't think I've ever used the phrase, so-and-so works for me. Like I'm so big on that. And I say it over and over again because I just think it's probably one of the biggest signs of disrespect. Like, no one works for you. You're not a slave owner. We're just talking about work for you. And nobody working for you. They work with you. Like, take it easy, buddy. Like, I take it that serious. I think it's very degrading to say that someone works for you, right? They work with you. They work at your company, like that kind of thing. And so my demeanor towards those conversations was never anything to degrade someone. But what I found is it's very difficult to work with friends in business, especially when you have to be their superior, their manager, their, the one who's giving instruction or really leading the pack. So some may make the argument and say, well, maybe they didn't trust you as a leader, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, look, it's just very difficult when it's that. So that helped me kind of graduate and learn how to really hire in the industry without having to rely on my best friends, where maybe I had some unreasonable expectations for them because they were my friends. I thought they were going to give me a little bit more, and vice versa, right? So I thought that's what I learned from that situation. On the flip side of it, there's also been times where I've taken I was almost served the Kool-Aid in terms of, yo, this is how it's going to be. We're going to do it this way. You don't even got to worry about this because we're family. And when you start using that terminology with me, it triggers like extreme loyalty on 194 million degrees. And like, I'm going to drop everything. At least maybe like 2 to 3 years ago, me, because I'd like to say I've learned from my mistakes. But what I found is if communication doesn't continue to stay up to date, when that's the entryway, people start to drift. They go in separate directions. And if you don't notice that, and I know I didn't, if you don't notice that and you still think that the beginning makeup is still valid today, you get served a really cold shower when you least expect it. You're like, whoa, this was like one of those things where it gets you crazy. And so that's where I've learned to, at least for me, I think what's working for me now is to be friendly, right? I think it's important to be friendly in business, but to make it just a complete friendship, it's difficult for some people to navigate. When are we talking about business? When are we being friends? And so, I don't know. I care so much about people, and maybe I don't know how to navigate that fine line so well. And so I've just done the safe bet and say, you know what? Let me swallow my pride and maybe even miss out on some opportunities to really expand relationships per se on a personal side, just to protect the mutual interest of everyone who's involved. Because you just never know when someone may get triggered or respond differently. And I know myself. I've always said it. Pride is my biggest thing. And so I suffer from that. Like, that's my kryptonite in a sense. So I never want to be on a receiving end of something that was misunderstood and misfired. And then I'm just like, oh, word? Nah, watch this then. I'm out of here. And it's like, no. So just to keep it safe, that's kind of how I've handled, myself as it relates to friends and business, or even friends in business. It's just like, yo, let's even out and kind of pull back on the entire friendship as a whole in the interest of the business, which to some degree is unfortunate, but I haven't found another way to make it work. So I'm curious to see what you got in store.
Based off my experience, I'm
according
going
to my
to
calculations.
say, yeah, right. I want black and white loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Black and white loyalty. What I mean by that is, if there is going to be business amongst friends, it has to be like, this is what we're doing. This is the expectations. This is the clarity that we both need. But of course, I love the thought of my friends will always be around, right? Now, is that the case all the time when it comes to business? No, absolutely not. It's trash. Okay? And for me, starting a business with friends is something I did, right? And when I say there is probably a lot of more pains that I didn't have to really deal with if I actually hired for the talent and not for the loyalty, right? I feel that I'm not even say we, I'm going to say me. I'm not even going to generalize as me, okay? I feel that because you are a friend, you cater to maybe some situations a little bit longer than you're supposed to. You may deal or accept certain flaws, certain red flags way longer than you're supposed to, or even accept it, period. And it actually can stop you from growing, slow down your growth, because you're actually putting low key, not saying it, but low key putting the friendship before the business. And at the end of the day, it's your business. I would say, if I could do it again, I would leave the friendship, like I said, more black and white loyalty. Because I do believe friends who have that business mind. Now, if they don't have a business mind or a great work ethic, you may want to shy away. But if they have a good business mind or potential, because not everybody understands, but I don't, still to this day, this is why I lean on Moose, don't understand everything about business. Have I come a long way? Absolutely. But do I know everything? No. Does Moose know more than me? Absolutely. So what do you think? I'm lean on him. Hello, business. What do you think about this? What about this deal? What about that? Right? But for those people who don't understand work ethic, don't understand leadership, don't understand deadlines, don't respect time, don't understand or have the potential to work on time management, it's a little bit crazy. And not one did I say about a specific skill in their lane. Like, I'm specifically talking about just these characteristics to make me feel warm and fuzzy that you have potential to be good in this company. You can learn skill at any moment. On the job training, courses, that whole nine, provide you with the tools and the resources, you're going to be great. But if there is, because none of your friends, none of your family, none of your coworkers, whatever, is ever going to have the same heart for your business like you. So to get that out of your head in the beginning is very crucial. If you are going to work with friends, they don't have the same energy as you. They never will. It may be, and if they show signs in a season of doing that, be very appreciative. Don't be like, that's expected. Be very appreciative. Because 9 out of 10 times, you will never find somebody who has the same energy for your business like you do. Not even your second-hand person. Not even them. So they may have certain pockets. So if for me, I would have to really look at the position and the role that needs to be filled, rather than, can my friend do this position? Oh, this person is really good at this. I think I need this. Let's add them to the team. That backfires. It backfires tremendously. To now, even as the person who created the company, had to learn from those mistakes, right those mistakes, and sometimes have to fix the relationship. Because like I said in the beginning, where the expectation of, yo, we're friends, you should have the same energy. You should work the same amount maybe, or the same amount of days. Like, yo, it's Sunday, I should hit you, right? Like, we're building this together. No, people have, like, some of your friends are going to have a 9 to 5 work ethic. That doesn't make them wrong. But for those people who are having their own business, getting into the entrepreneurship role, you have to be okay with that. And I wasn't. I was like, yeah, yo, we get emails 24/7. Are you, yo, this happened. I'm not available. I won't be available for 2 days. What? And then in my mind, I'm like, oh, coming up with like the wildest things. Like, well, this is why you're at this level, because you stop. And I'm like, Nicky, stop. No one is going to work as hard as you. So stop expecting that from people, because this is your baby. This is your situation. This is not theirs, even though they may have that ownership vibe as far as we started this, whatever. it's still your baby. So some people need clarity in exactly what they do, and they stay in that role. That's it. Don't expect them to do anything else. I don't care if they're your friends. Don't expect that. But it is more on, can you do it as long as it's black and white? Absolutely. Will I do that again? I'm even scared to do that with my girl. Like, I'm thinking about it, right? And I'm like, I don't even talk to her about business. I'm slowly like telling her certain things, like, okay, let me do better and communicate what's happening in my day, because I will not say anything just because I keep that separate. I don't want to mess that up. I know what it looks like messing friendship or a personal relationship with business. I don't want to do it. So that's me.
Yeah, no, I disagree with some of that though, because I think that, in some cases, like while to some extent, the owner is going to have the most amount of ownership over something. That's just almost always a given. But I wouldn't suggest that be the mentality of everyone or the expectation, because I do believe you miss out on some really great partnerships or talent when you move that way, because I've been in situations where the number 2 has more dedication than the number 1. And
yes,
it's almost like, yo, this is a problem. It's supposed to be the other way around.
And I struggle in those situations too.
You see what I'm saying?
I struggle in both situations. I struggle with having all the energy and others don't, and then flipping to being the 2 or 3 or 4, and I'm having all this energy, and you're like, not you, like Moose, but
no, I know what you mean.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Like, what? Well, I'm not, but that's the draining part too. I think both sides are draining, but
yeah, no,
that
100%. 100%. So neither are healthy, but I'm just saying that, for some people who are listening to this, just know that you can find somebody who's going to be just as dedicated, but that doesn't mean you should pull your foot off the gas like, yo, Nick's got it, I'm out of here. It's like, no, buddy. Like, you should still want to give your all to something to complement what they're giving. It should never be the, one or the other. Like, hey, are there going to be emergency circumstances where you need to lean on that person? Yeah, of course. At the end of the day, that's what those people are there for, right? Like, people who you can count on are there for you to count on them when you need them the most. That's the point of somebody who you can count on. That's like the whole right hand, left hand thing. Like, yeah, that's where that comes from. But should you make it a habit? No, I don't think that's right. Now, the other thing that I learned about, and I think it's more so about my thought process around friends now, because I would hate if it was done to me, which is, how you said sometimes it becomes easier to put the friendship ahead of the business?
Yep.
I'm now starting to feel like that's not even good friendship. And let me explain. If I'm starting to say, you know what, so that I can protect my friend, I'm going to put the business on the back burner, that's almost like letting someone make mistakes without bringing them back to some extent. Now, I'm not saying you did this, but just in my perspective now.
Absolutely. I could own mine. Yeah. It's not the situation now, but I've definitely done that.
Yeah, my perspective now is, because I think, and again, for me, the more I just focus on being less defensive and taking things personal and really just seeing things for face value and kind of, like I said, being friendly in business, but not thinking that this is a family friend thing, because it's not even that it's wrong. It just jades your perspective and the lens that you're trying to see out of. Right? Like when you're like, oh yeah, no, it's like, no, if you actually care about someone and you see them doing something wrong that is about to ruin the business, a good friend would tell you, yo, I just want to bring to your attention this is happening. Now, I would like to help you, and here's how I can help, but maybe this part I can't help you with. That's on you to maybe go get some help or figure out on your own. So I think that was part of my issue, where not wanting to be confrontational or just have some conversations that might feel uncomfortable. It was that approach of saying, yeah, no, let me not even really bring this up. But then as I think about it now, it's like, yo, you can't even say that you were being a friend, because a friend, think about your best friends. They would never let you do something stupid. And well, some good friends encourage you to have a little fun and do stupid stuff. But a real friend, friends that like, you know, is looking after you, it's going to call you out. And those, or let me put it this way, those are the friendships that I have come to value the most. The friends that are going to keep me in check and hold me accountable to my potential and say, yo, that's not right. Like, I understand what you're saying, but let's have a conversation. Let's just like at least hash this out so that maybe I can help you, or I think this is what you should be doing. So that's kind of how I've come to see that side of it. And then now when I think about it through that lens, I'm like, yo, those are the things that actually help the business, right? Because even in business terms, having those types of conversations with people who you're in partnership with, if done the right way, people walk away from those types of conversations feeling relieved, like, oh, wow, that's what you thought? Like, I'll never forget one time somebody came to me, and it took about a year. And it happened around my wedding. And they said, yo, me not getting invited made me feel boom, 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 boom. And dragged out, like really rolled out the entire list, right? And I can feel the tension in the relationship, but in my heart, because it wasn't an intentional thing, I never really let it get to me. And when it finally was discussed, I was like, yo, I'll own up to it. I'm sorry, but let me kind of give you my side of the story, and not to make it a cover up, but here's what that is. And just I think what the relationship has become now, or has gone back to be, it just, you feel lighter. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but there are certain conversations, like it feels weird talking, but then with other people that you're on a good accord with or in a good space with, and you finally get back to that situation or that setup, it just feels better. And so it's just changed my mentality around friendship in general. Like, no, friendship, you gotta push yourself to have the tough conversations and check in and like do the stuff that's necessary to support and all that other stuff. But also say the things that are necessary to say, like, yo, I don't think that's right. Like, you really need to reconsider that. Or I don't want you to ruin your, whatever you got going for you. Like, be mindful of this. And just as a friendly suggestion, like, hey, if you could take it how you want. So I don't know. Those are the things that I've noticed in friendships now that help to even protect friendships and business workflows and stuff like that. So that's the other side of it.
So, yeah, we're going long, people. Okay. But I would have to say those tough conversations when it comes to business can sometimes make a person feel like the bad guy all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Which I think I can speak personally about this, where you almost bring in a friend, or you start in with a friend, and like I said, there is, because you see them how they move outside of business, right? You think that energy, because of the respect and what we're trying to grow, comes into the same play, and you see something completely opposite of that person, and you check them, and you check them again, and you check them again. And it's like, yes, as a friend, I agree with you. Having those tough conversations is important. But at the same time, there's so much a person can hear about themselves until, like, it's like, all I do is wrong. and you don't know, as just a person, not even as leadership or whatever, as a person, what that number is for that. Right? So, and this is a conversation I had with my therapist of where, like, you want to address for a successful relationship of professional, personal, whatever, you want to address things one at a time. But sometimes with business, it snowfalls and you may have to talk about several things. But the most successful way is to speak about and figure it out with one. And with friendship, you think you could tell everybody, like tell that person everything. Because in personal, you can, but you can't. And so that's where that division happens that I don't want to deal with, to where I literally have to pick, we are business or we're friends, but we can't really do both because it's hurting in some way, shape, or form if it's that downward spiral situation happening. If it's all great, everybody's great, we're working great, we're making money, that's a whole different story. I have no problem with those friendships and business relationships. I'm not opposed to it if, like I said, if everything is black and white and the loyalty is there. Because I strive for the loyalty. But if it's not, I don't want to do it. I'd rather see the red flags and not just talk to you over and over again because we're friends. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. That's why I've landed on be friendly in business. Like don't be a jerk. Be friendly. But the friends thing, it's just so much. There's so much that goes into it. I believe it or not, even in spite of everything that I've said, and I'm optimistic about it still.
Okay.
Because I feel as people grow personally, you can revisit some of the things that you've ruled out and do with better outcomes because you understand yourself and even others a little bit better. So I'm still optimistic about it, but at least for me and my season, friendly in business, not friends. And
look, I've messed up one or two relationships that I had to go back and make right. And now there's possible business opportunities again because I made it right. So,
yeah.
Like I said, as long as it's clear, it's like black and white and not just going off of the, I love you, we do this together, this is great, then we're Gucci.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's good.
So, with that, remember every Friday, 6 a.m., we have an audio-only series, Creator Ave, which is the intersection of business and branding. And it's literally the how-tos of everything from business strategies, content strategies, teamwork, communication, everything that you may need to build your brand to go into an empire is all said in Creator Ave. So go check that out. Of course, follow us on all social media platforms at Nicky and Moose. That's Nicky, people. All right. I don't know why y'all keep messing this up. It's written on the podcast art cover, but that's cool. It's all right. It's all right. I get it. I understand your aunt, your cousin, your sister, maybe Nicky, and I get it. Listen, or Nicky, I get it. I'm all for it, but it's Nicky, people. But Moose, final words.
Yeah, just a reminder, man, that you will not get the wrong outcomes when you do the right things consistently. Like, I know you're frustrated, but regardless of what it is, over time, the tables will turn back in your favor, but don't give up on doing the right things consistently.